Good morning, students. Today's topic is dehydration. When we talk about dehydration, it is defined as the application of heat under controlled condition to remove the majority of water normally present in a food by evaporation. What is the main purpose of dehydration? Basically, it increases the shelf life of a food by decreasing the moisture content present in food, which is responsible for the growth of microorganism as well as enzymatic activity. Again, it helps in the storage. When we want to store any one of the food product, in that one case we require lots of for the storage of fresh food. We need some specific conditions to store it, as well as it require more space. When we go for the dehydration, the bulk or the size or weight of the food will become reduced, which is easy to transport, and it also affects the cost also. Then again, one point is that when we go for dehydration, then it forms the convenient food which is easy to reach by the consumer, and the handling or the food processing is very easy. In the other hand, when we go for the drying, then it can cause deterioration of both the eating quality as well as the nutritional value of the food. So basically, when we talk about the theory of dehydration, then it involves the simultaneous application of heat and removal of moisture from food. There are large number of factors which control the rate at which the food get dry, and that is dependent on the processing condition, nature of the food, and uh, design of dryer. Then what is the basic mechanism of drying? Basically, when we talk about the rate of drying is can be controlled by the addition of temperature as well as humidity. When the hot air is present over there, on we apply hot air on wet food, then the water vaporizes and diffuse through a boundary film surrounded by the food, and is carried away by the moving air. When the water vapors are present over there, then again it will be responsible for the vapor pressure gradient. This gradient provides the driving force for water removal from the food. Basically, the boundary film act as a barrier for both, for the transfer of your heat as well as removal of water vapor during drying. The thickness of the film is determined primarily by the air velocity. If the velocity is low, the boundary film is thicker, and this reduce the heat transfer coefficient and the rate of removal of water. When the water vapors leave the surface of food, it increases the humidity of the surrounding air, which cause reduction in water vapor pressure gradient, and the rate of the drying is also get affected. Means there is rate of drying is going to take place. So that means when the air is faster, the thinner the boundary film, in that one condition the drying will be more faster. When the water moves from the interior of the food to the surface of mechanism, then how it occur? Basically, there are small capillary forces are present over there. The food outing layer and the outer layer of food is porous in nature. In that one, the food movement takes place due to the capillary force, and diffusion of liquid caused by differences in concentration of solutes at the surface and in the interior of the food. Means on the the concentration of water present in the outer surface as well as the present in the internal surface, so that affects the diffusion of liquid. Diffusion of liquid which are absorbed in layers at the surface of solid component of food. Again, then water vapor diffusion in airspace within the food caused by water pressure gradient. Now when we go for the drying, then it use heated surfaces. So in that one case we use steel drum where the slurry of the food are deposited. Then we go for the heating. Heat is conducted from the hot surface through the food, and moisture is evaporated from the exposed surface. The main resistance to heat transfer is the thermal conductivity. Dryers in which heat is supplied to the food by conduction have two main advantages over hot air drying. First is it is not necessary to heat large volume of air, and second is drying may be carried out in the absence of oxygen. Then there are different kind of dryers are present which we use for the dehydration. First one is drum dryer. In this, the pressure steam is used in which the temperature is maintained at 120 to 170 degrees Celsius. In this, a thin layer of food is spread uniformly over the outer surface by dipping, spraying, spreading method by auxiliary feed roller. Before the drum has completed one revolution within 20 seconds to 3 minutes, the dry food is scraped off by the doctor blade. Then this is the small picture which is given over there. This is drum dryer. Then bin dryers are there. Bin dryers are large cylindrical or rectangular containers fitted with a mesh base. And when the hot air passes through bed of food is relatively low velocity. If it when we talk about the capacity, it having high capacity and low capital and running cost, means maintenance cost is very less, and it mainly used for finishing good which contains 3 to 6% moisture content. The deep bed of food permits variation in moisture content to be equalized and act as a store to smooth out fluctuation in product flow between drying and packed operation. Then next is cabinet dryer. In this, we go for the drying on the perforated trays where the hot air blows with the 0.5 to 5 per second. Tray dryer are used for small scale production, and its maintenance cost and capital is very less, and it can be flexible also. This is the picture of cabinet dryer, how it works. Then tunnel dryer. The layer of food are dried on trays which are stacked on trucks programmed to move semi-continuously through an insulated tunnel having one or more types of airflow. In this one there is one slider is there, and when you keep your you put your food stuff in it, then there is airflow is present over there, heaters are present over there. Again, tunnel dryer, when we talking about tunnel dryer, it includes short tunnel dryers are also present over there. Then conveyor dryer. It is also known as belt dryers, in which we understand by the name that there will be one conveying belt will be present over there on which we will keep our food, and at that time there will be heat hot air production will be there from the upper side and the lower side of the food. For the immediately it will be responsible for the removal of the liquid which is present over there. Then foam mat drying is approximately 3 times faster than drying a similar thickness of liquid. The thin porous mat of dried food is then ground to a free flowing powder which has good rehydration properties. This is multi-stage belt dryer. Then belt draw dryers. This is special type of dryer designed for the initial drying of vegetables in small pieces. The unit consists of wide mesh belt freely hanging over two cylindrical rollers so as to form a trough. This is the basically the bed thickness. Then rotary dryer is present over there, and mostly it is used in the chemical and mineral factories. and where the application is due to the dehydration of waste material which is present over there in the foodstuffs. Then fluidized bed dryer. The mesh tray contain a bed of particularly food up to 15 centimeter deep. Basically, hot air is blown through the bed, causing the food to become suspended and vigorously agitated, exposing the maximum surface area of food for drying. Then kiln dryers. Kiln dryers are two-story building in which a drying room with a slatted floor is located above the furnace. This is basically, when in this picture it is showing that in the upper bed one there is food is kept and the hot air is coming from the downward. Then spray dryers, basically this is for the fine dispersion of pre-concentrated foods. Basically when we go for the spray dryers, we use the drying of juices or drying of milk to convert into milk powder. In this, the temperature will be remain 150 to 300 degrees Celsius, and it contains large drying chambers. Basically when we go for the spray dryer, then it is responsible for the transformation of the fluid state into dried particles. This is the unit of spray dryer. Then there is little bit more about spray dryer and the history is given over there. Then there are different steps related to spray dryer. It includes concentration, atomization, droplet air contact, then droplet drying, and separation will be take place. In concentration, firstly we take the concentrated one product, then atomization stage creates the optimum condition for evaporation of the dried product. Then droplet air contact, in this atomized liquids is brought into contact with hot air. Be simply in spray dryer what occur, the there is one chamber is present over there which is very hot in temperature, and then we go for the we take the concentrated juices or milk, or the liquid will be in concentrated form. Then in this one stage, when we go for the spraying of the food, liquid food which is going to take place for drying, and immediately the small droplets get dried by the spray dryer due to the high temperature, and it get converted into dried small particles. So this is the picture how the spray dryer work. In this, airflow is dependent on three types. One is co-current flow, one is counter current flow, and one is mixed flow. In co-current flow, there is spray and hot air entering the dryer in same direction. In counter current flow, there will be spray and hot dryer entering the dryer in opposite direction. And in mixed flow, both co-current and counter current will be available. So then there are different kind of spray dryers are present which we are going to use for the production of different food materials. Then these are the different application which are associated with spray drying, and due to the with the use of spray drying we can produce lots of products which are available in market. Then what kind of innovations are going on related to spray drying? Now there is lots of changes are taking place due to the technology, and in this we having form spray dryer is present over there, sterile spray dryer for stable injectable liquid formulations, and spray dryer for the production of crystalline products is also available. Then these are the advantages which are associated with spray drying. Some disadvantages are also there because it needs firstly it needs the proper plant for the spray drying, as well as when you are going for the spray drying of the product, then it require less fat solutions. Then it needs high capital, due to it is not an economic method. Then what are the effect of drying on foods? Basically, it reduces the quality as compared to fresh material. It improves drying technologies, minimize these changes while maximizing process efficiency. Texture and loss in color, flavor or aroma takes place. Nutritional value is also get affected adversely. Along with that, it also depends on what kind of dehydration method you are going to use.